Well, we're sitting here talking with Congressman Darin LaHood of Illinois' 16th Congressional District. Thank you for the time today.
Great to be with you, Annie.
So I wanted to give you the opportunity to react to Donald Trump's 100th day. That's today. How do you feel about this administration? You've served in how many administrations?
I started in 2015, so Obama, Trump, Biden, and now Trump again.
How do you feel about the second term 100 days in?
Well, I think the president has done an excellent job in the first 100 days, much different than his first 100 days the last time around. And if you go back to the election last November, the president got elected, I think, for two reasons. One, fixing the unmitigated disaster at our southern border. And number two, fixing our economy, which people saw during the Biden administration had high inflation, high costs. There was a lot of uncertainty. And what the president's done since January 20th, I think, has been remarkable on the southern border. Crossings are down 95% on our southern border because he put back in the Remain in Mexico policy, which basically says we worked with the Mexican government and their military to stop everybody on the Mexican side. Now, you can apply for asylum or become a green card holder or apply for legal citizenship, but you're going to do it on the Mexican side. So border crossings are down 95%. Secondarily, what he's done to put people that are illegally in this country that have committed violent crimes, sending them back to their country of origin is significant. And so whether it's going back to Venezuela or El Salvador or Mexico or plenty of countries in Central and South America, the president has followed through on his campaign promise to fix the unmitigated disaster at our southern border. He supported our Border Patrol agents on the southern border. And so that has been significant. And I think the American people understand that and support the president wholeheartedly on that. So I think he deserves an A+ on that. Now, I think we have some work to do on the economy. Okay. We haven't brought the relief that we need to yet. But that's going to change very quickly.
Some of that work will be yours in Congress.
Absolutely. I serve on the Ways and Means Committee, which has jurisdiction over our tax bill. The tax bill we're going to get to the president's desk here in the next month is going to be significant in terms of bringing relief to working families throughout our district and giving a tax break to small and medium-sized businesses, to our farmers, helping to bring down inflation and also allowing people to have more money in their pocket. Remember, the first Trump administration, we had the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, created the best economy in my lifetime.
Yeah. So we've got the border, we've got the economy. Those are the two things that the president has highlighted through his press secretary this week as they're acknowledging the 100th day. My question is, I talk a lot on my show about families. I've got kids of my own, and a lot of people who are listening, the stuff that takes place on Main Street is a little more familiar than a lot of the of course, big transformative ideas that the president is bringing to the table to reform our economy. I want to ask you, do you feel like, are you hopeful now in a way that you haven't been in the past? Or has that changed at all with Trump second term? Do you see the hope for the American dream alive?
I do. And I think there was so much angst going into the election last year. And what I love about the election is our democracy showed that if you want to change the direction of the country, you can. And I think that renewed people's faith in our system. Because as I talked to people throughout my district, I think there was, lots of concern that they were going to steal the election, it wasn't going to go the right way. But President Trump won. Not only did he win, Annie, as you know, he won overwhelmingly. Yep. All 7 swing states, won the popular vote, got record numbers of African-American males and Hispanic males. And it showed that our democracy held, but if you want to change the direction of this country, you can. So I think that's given people a lot of hope and optimism. Now, the tough part is governing, and President Trump's doing everything he can, going up against mainstream media and people, Democrats and others. But again, he's delivering on those promises, and I think people definitely have that hope and optimism. What he's done on cancel culture, what he's done on wokeism, what he's done on DEI, again, fulfilling those campaign promises, taking on our adversaries, particularly what he's done on China and ramping up what needs to be done to win the strategic competition against China. I mean, I think all those things are apparent to families in my district, people have hope. Still got a long ways to go. We got to keep implementing his policies, particularly on the economic front, but there's a lot to be happy about.
So you're listing a lot of things that have you excited about what's to come. I'm a Trump voter. I'm excited about what's to come. In the state of Illinois, Governor J.B. Pritzker doesn't really seem to be excited about what's to come. This past weekend at a fundraiser, he said, I don't know if I'm going to get the quote exactly right, but he wants to castigate us at the soapbox and beat us at the ballot box. And I've been living through a few years here, as are the rest of us, of listening to the way the Democrats talked about rhetoric that led up to January 6th. Now we hear J.B. Pritzker saying very inflammatory things about how to push back against the Trump administration, and it sounds like the people who support him.
Well, I think it's disgraceful. I saw those comments. I read them. I saw them on TV. This is someone that represents Republicans and Democrats in the state of Illinois, and he's talking to half of our population in Illinois that are Republicans or conservatives, and it's disgraceful, the language, and frankly disgusting, the language he used. And that type of rhetoric we shouldn't have in our politics. And again, we had an election in November. We got a new administration. Now is not the time for rhetoric or politics. It's policy. It's implementing the things that we ran on. And frankly, that's what I'm focused on doing. Unfortunately, J.B. Pritzker is focused on politics and trying to get ahead. And he, in many ways, has Trump deranged syndrome. He can't get over the fact that President Trump won and what he's doing to move the country forward.
So when J.B. Pritzker is speaking the way he's speaking, a lot of people assume he can't wait to be president, and that's where he's going. I enjoy listening to people criticize Trump's joking about a third term while we sit and wait and see if J.B. Pritzker is going to seek out a third term. Is he campaigning right now to be the president of the United States?
I think he is. And I think why is he not in Illinois, instead in New Hampshire on a Sunday night using that type of rhetoric? I think that's a head scratcher for most folks in Illinois. And they prefer to have him in Illinois. But again, I think this is going to come back to haunt him. He's up for election in 2026. We'll see if he runs or not. I hope he doesn't run. But if he does, we got to make sure we have a top quality candidate to show a sharp contrast between, the policies of the liberal, progressive, sanctuary city policies, and frankly, putting illegal immigrants ahead of the citizens of the state of Illinois. That'll be a narrative that we'll expose in next 2026 election.
So, Congressman, one last question, and we'll wrap it up here. Talking about what J.B. Pritzker might do in the next election, that means that Illinois could potentially see quite a sea change in the 2026 statewide election, along with the midterms. Trump was he was like +8, maybe +9 in the state of Illinois.
Correct.
Congratulations to the Democrats on their districting to make sure that it doesn't reflect anywhere in the state legislature, of course. But I'm curious what kind of hope you would give Illinois voters about the midterms, about the statewide. We hold no statewide offices, is that correct? And a super minority in both chambers of the General Assembly. Do you think it could be different in 2026?
I do. If you look at the ground that President Trump made up in 2024, he closed the gap almost by 8 or 10 points in the state of Illinois. So he did, and he didn't even campaign in Illinois and made up a lot of ground. And so, and if you look at some of the areas that he won in Illinois that traditional Republicans haven't won, that gives us some hope. Secondly is, as you saw this past week, Senator Durbin is not running again. We have an open U.S. Senate seat, first time in 25 years that we have an open Senate seat there. That gives us an opportunity to put up a good Republican candidate, and taking on J.B. Pritzker, who clearly is focused on running for president. We'll see whether he runs again for governor, but if he doesn't, again, that's an open governorship. We have a lot of good people that are interested in both of those seats, and that gives us a lot of hope as Republicans to fix the direction of Illinois. There is a lot of good folks in the state of Illinois that want to fix Illinois, and I'm a fourth generation Illinoisan. That's where we're raising our family at. I still believe in Illinois, and we have some really, really good people. So that's what's going to keep me going. Again, to do everything I can to stand shoulder to shoulder with the voters of Illinois to change the direction.
And just one quick follow-up: do you have any advice to the the Republican Party on making sure we get across the finish line?
Well, I think a couple things. We need to fix our election laws. We need voter ID in the state of Illinois, which we're working on at the federal level. We need to also focus on vote by mail, which Democrats have done a better job. That's the law of the land in Illinois. We have to do a better job in doing that. And I think we got to start recruiting now good candidates to run at every level, whether that's state rep or state senator or statewide office. Again, stepping up to be part of the solution in Illinois is a part of that. And so I think candidate recruitment can start now.
Well, Congressman LaHood, I appreciate the time. Thank you for welcoming me into your office, and I'd like to talk to you again soon.
Great to have you. Thanks, Annie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.